Hey guys, welcome back to the Educational Highway, where we're going to be covering the subject of control. Hey, I know we have some controlling folks out there. You might be one of them. You might be one of the people who believe that the earth belongs to you, that God created all these magnificent things and He only made it for you. But if you realize and come to terms you gotta come to terms at some point to realize that control is a limited things. It's things that you should be in control of and things that ain't none of your business. Yes, I said it. Ain't none of your business. And you should not be trying to control. That's some of the things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the things that you can control and the things that you can't control. Now, for us and in our prideful way, we believe that if we're good at something, we should be in control of it. Let me give you a good example. Have you ever been in the car riding with your spouse who is not the best driver, but think she is? I'm not going to throw no shade, but think that she is the best driver. And at every turn, it's, hey, oh, you should have did that. You should have did it. Well, in the car, all of the controls are in front of the driver. I said that because they are called controls. The knob to change the channel, turn it up and turn it down, the gas pedal, the brakes, all the things that control the car is in front of the driver. But we call them backseat drivers, or I always tell them, hey, you ain't got no controls over there. So just sit back and ride and let me do it. So I know that some of us just can't help ourselves, but I hope this podcast helps you get in your lane and stay in your lane. So let's start with the things that you can control, that you should be focused on. One, let's dive in. So one of the things that you should be able to control, should be controlling, is how you spend your time and who you spend your time with. I have this funny acting behavior. I just don't waste my time spending my time with people who I know we don't see eye to eye and we're not trying to walk together in life. So I don't waste my time with them. Now, I know that some of us go to places where we know we don't fit in, and we hang out with people we know that don't like us. I'm just not one of those people. I don't itch when I don't scratch when I don't itch. I just don't like. It makes me feel uncomfortable when I force myself into places where I'm not wanted. So I try to control the environment, and I am grateful that I have the opportunity to control the environment that I'm in, so the people I'm with, and if you see me with somebody, there's a purposeful action. This should be, because you should be in control of that. Another thing that you should be in control is your boundaries. We're going to talk more about that at a different podcast, talking about boundaries. You should be able to control the physical boundaries. Let me stop saying should. You should be in control of the physical boundaries, the mental boundaries, the sexual boundaries, the material boundaries, all of the boundaries that keeps you safe as an individual. You should be in control of that. But some of us, we don't have the luxury of having strong communication skills. If I don't like cake, I don't eat cake. If I don't want somebody touching me, I will say nicely, I don't like when people touch me. I'm just that way. And I'm not saying that. I'm in touch with the boundaries so I can control those issues. I can control my boundaries. I think I have a good grasp of laying down the soft and hard boundaries that exist. Another thing I can control is, here it goes, hold on, what I post on social media. Even though I'm mad at somebody, I will not air all of my laundry out to people who have no idea what you're talking about. The code that you're speaking is to that person. Well, why don't you just go ahead and call that person and tell them all about what you really want to say? But here's what we do. We post stuff that we really want to take back later. Having control over what you post is such a 2023 thing you should be doing. It makes you look very impulsive, very out of control when you don't communicate in the effective way. If you got an issue, take it to them. Another thing that you can control is your values and your beliefs. What you believe should be founded and rooted in how you act. Now, some of us don't have that capacity to do what we say and say what we mean. We are liars, deceptive manipulators, and we have practiced this behavior, so we're going through back doors trying to communicate and effectively control all the things around us. But what happened is, when people are in control of their values and their beliefs, that's what leads their life. And I encourage you, no matter what area, if you're on a job, at the church, whatever it is, let your values and your belief be controlled by you. And I, just as a Christian, believe that the Holy Spirit will guide you through the values that has been established throughout your life and your beliefs. The next thing that you can control is what you say about other people. Uh-oh. Now, I think I'm kind of guilty here, because I should not say everything that come to my head, inside of my head. Some of that stuff need to be restricted and not come out of my mouth. Now, I know y'all don't have this problem, but what I feel about people is not always okay to say about people, because it's may not just be all the way the truth. It just might be our feelings. So you need to control what you say about people, because at the end of the day, all of the things, if you have any values or beliefs, all the things that you have the ability to say don't have to be negative. Oh, I said it. Yes, it don't have to be negative. You could control it. There's so many different words that you can use, especially in our English language. You can use proper grammar, or you can get slang and be like, on God. That's the new thing that people are saying. It's so funny. On God, on my brother. On what are you talking about? Anyway, so control what you say about people. Next thing, I can control my honesty. Wow. Honesty is a superpower now. It is, in our society, something that the backbone of it should be, if you're a Christian, the backbone of your beliefs, like love and honesty and trust. But honesty is something where we are lacking to the greatest degree now. When you look at, if you can talk your way out of it or wiggle your way out of it, it's okay to do. The fact of being internally convicted for lying and being deceptive, it's like a thing in the past. But guess what? You have the ability to control that. You can control whether you tell a lie or whether you be deceptive. You are in the driver's seat. All of the controllers are there. You need one to control this. Out of all the things that you can control, you can control your honesty. Let me move on to the next one. Here we go. It's sort of kind of like the one before. You can control what you say. Now, I know we have used this term before. You almost made me cuss. And some of us have made you cuss. Ouch. Okay. But you could control that. God gives us the ability to use our thinking capacity, to open our mouth, to utilize our tongue, to produce a sound that will come out. And we have mastered that sound to turn it into what we call a language that we communicate. Now that comes down to control. You have that ability to control what you say. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a different podcast. But to move on, you have the ability to control your actions. I'm going somewhere. If you see the painting on the wall, you have this great ability that's been given to us to control our own actions. But guess what? Our efforts and great efforts have been made to control everything else except our own action. Guess why? How can you say that? Because when something is done that's less desirable of the individual, guess who shows up on the scene? Blame. Blame shows up, and none of at this time you have control over everything else except yourself. I always ask the question when I'm counseling or coaching, if we're talking about infidelity, especially when we talk about teens having sex, I ask, do you have on underwear? And it's always a strange answer. It's always a strange look. Like, what do you mean? Because most underwear have elastic in it. And the elastic is made so the underwear can hug your waist and not just fall down. So it will require a tug. It will require a pulling, and that justifies and places blame somewhere on somebody, meaning that if your underwear were pulled down, if they were pulled down by you, then you gotta hold some responsibilities for your actions. We are in a place and time where being responsible for your own actions, oh my God, that's another superpower. If you can just say, yeah, that was me. I should have never. We want to slap people but not get punched. We want to steal but not go to jail. We don't want to be responsible for our actions, but we are in control of our actions. And speaking of our actions, the next thing that we are in control over, hey, watch this, our thoughts. If you can control your thoughts, you can control what you say online. You can control what you say to other people. You can control your actions. You can control how honest you will be. You can control your values and your morals. You can control your boundaries. You can control who you spend your time with by controlling your thoughts. How do I do that? I'm glad you asked. We will have a whole podcast on just walking you through the collection of people inside of you giving you advice. I'm gonna go hopefully take you on this journey inside of your head to explain to you the critic and the coach, and how the critic and the coach inside of you give you your foundation of your beliefs and your values. But it has a great deal to do with your thoughts. Last thing, and then we're going to jump into the things that you can't control. How you spend your time is controlled by you. There's a saying that Uh, Everybody's given 24 hours to do what they want with the time. If you spend it well and you utilize the time, it will come back to benefit you. But as I said, not to just hate on this type of generation that we're in, it is tough because everybody want to be a millionaire, but nobody want to do no work. Everybody want to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to get saved. So what I'm saying to you is that how we spend our time is going to determine how our thoughts are. And I'll take you right back to the same cycle. So, how do you do so much? Pastor Ted, you're a DJ, you're this, you're that. Is if you understand and value time and understand how to be present at the times and in the things that you're doing, guess what? It is really simple. If I was talking to a student and I was listening to this right now, you are sitting in class on TikTok while everybody else is doing their lesson. And guess what? You can't go to summer camp because why? You failed the class, so you got to take the summer class. You in the summer class texting little Tommy. You are wasting your time because you're not doing what you should be doing at the time you should be doing. So, I talked a lot about what you can control. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you can't control. Let me start out strong and hard. You cannot control your past. If you did it, it's done. And guess what? You can't change it. Hey, I want to go and try to fix it and make amends, but you still can't change it. And now I can testify to this because I hurt a lot of people in the beginning part of my life. I was in the streets. I was of the streets. I was doing the do. And I thought as a young man that was what you're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, I hurt people. And guess what? I can't change that. I hear all the time when I listen to podcasts and watch videos about people who have hurt other people. They have taken loved ones' lives. They're killed and they've gotten incarcerated. And the first thing they say is, I cannot bring that person back. You're absolutely right. And some of us have done some very hurtful things in our past, and because of the way in which we seen ourselves and was functioning. But you can't control your past. Okay, let me move on. You can't control what other people think. You can't control other people's actions. You can't control what other people think and say online. You can't control how people respond to your boundaries that you set. You can't control your age. Some of us want to be young, but age has We've been here for 50, 60 years and you still run around here like you're a teenager. Got on tight jeans. Oh, not. Let me go back. You can't control death. You can't control the weather. And you can't control what others believe. Guys, control is something that God has given us, but He's given us a specific area to focus on. One of the greatest things that He has given us was us, and how magnificently He has made us and developed us. And He made us governor of this vessel. I'm going to end with this. Mind your own business. That sounds sarcastic and a little bit disrespectful, but no, that's the advice that I have about control. Most people are in your business and trying to control what you do and how you do it when they're not in control of their own selves. If we can all just take time, there's a song that says, sweep around your own front door before you go to try to sweep around mine. Now, I'm saying this to you as advice, as wisdom, is spend more time controlling the things that you could control and spend less time trying to control the things that you can't control. We don't want people talking about us and we try to stop them. I'm going to slap them because they were talking about me. What is that going to do? That's going to make them talk about you more. So the wisdom of that is, I'm going to control my actions and control what I do. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Make sure that you support our podcast by subscribing, signing in, listening to the whole message, and sharing it with somebody. Hey, if you know the control freak, go ahead and send them this video. If you know the one that has no control, go ahead and send that video. Hey, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.